Okay, people. So, right, fresh on the heels of the in-law gang, the entertainment squad blessed me with this next one, right? Our Deadly Vows. Our Deadly Vows. This is the new joint from Chris Chalk. He wrote and directed it. Okay. Well, it's produced by Cesa Pledger, um, Shiada Maghadam, Eden Marryshow, Lex Kimbara, and Jax Desenia. Right? It is executive produced by the Chalks, Chris and KD, and it's line produced by Amanda Jabes. Right? Daniel Clive McCullen handled the music, Lex Kimbara cinematography, and also he edits the piece. Uh, Priska Choi is on production design. Paige Enrique is costume design. Production management is Amanda Jabs. And sound direction is Zach Shetson. Our cast. Well, we have Chris Chalk as Chance Charles, and his wife, Grace Charles, is played by his wife, Katie Chalk, right? We then have got Miller, played by Cesa Pledger. We've got her husband, Remy, played by Eden Marryshow, right? We have got Kit, played by Chantal Nchako. We've got her fiance, Layla, played by Natalie Woolams-Torres. There's Lacey, right, played by Ashlei Sharpe Chestnut, right? And her husband, I think it's her husband at this point, Byron Bronson. So that's a thing. I think Lacey is Grace's sister. I think so. Yes. All right. So that's the cast, and this is the gist of what is going down. Grace Charles needs time. Her book is unfinished, her friends are demanding, and her well-meaning new husband isn't making things easier. What was meant to be a celebration send-off for Grace quickly devolves into people pulling Grace in every direction. Grace approaches her limits as her friends begin disappearing one by one. What happens when the fight for friendship becomes a fight for your life? Oh, right? Oh my days. Yo, I don't know what to say about this one. You know what I mean? Chris Chalk has worked some straight up magic. This film is great. Oh my god, this film is so friggin' good, right? It's something that leads us into so many different directions. It's crazy, right? We open up. Funny enough, actually, that one didn't open that way. Like, it was one of the early scenes. I'm thinking in-law gang, because that one we had the wedding at the beginning, but that was just after the knife and a cake business, right? But this one opens up with Grace and Chance getting married. I mean, we first have Grace looking at us, and we're like, yo, what's happening here? And then suddenly it flips and there's Chance, and then you realize, oh, they're getting married. I do believe it is Remy proceeding over the ceremony. I do believe. I might be wrong because it's a bit fuzzy, you know what I mean? But yeah, we have them getting married, and then we cut to them in a car. Cut to them in a car, and they're journeying to meet their friends. Right? It's, as I said, it's their 1 year anniversary. They're celebrating love, and they're moving. Right? They're moving. So it's like a big send off. It's a big thing. But Grace is playing Chance a message from one of her friends, which is interesting, right? I think with this film, you have to really pay attention to everything that's being said. Everything that's being said, people. Right? So we open up with vows, and then we have this message. And, Chance points out to Grace, listen, your friends are draining you. But she's trying to finish this book and she's working in the car. And yeah, like he's asked her something, but she's not really paying attention at first because, she's trying to do this and she's been pulled in all these directions. And then she realizes, you know what? Man, this is my dude. I'm going to help him. So we get into all of that, right? And you're thinking, okay, all right, what's happening here? We jump to their friends, right? A couple of the friends in the house prepping this celebration. It's Mila and Remy. And as we're introduced to each set of friends, information is coming out at us, right? And uh, everyone is everyone's a little grimy, you know what I mean? Now there's different levels of, right? There's different levels of what people are doing. Like Douglas is just straight obnoxious, right? He's straight obnoxious. Now he might be saying some things that resonate, but there's a lot of shit that's getting said that you're just like, yo, son, what are you doing? But it's in that way, you know what I mean? When people be like, look, they know I'm joking. I'm only joking. I'm playing. That's what we do. We play. And it's just like, yo, you weren't playing. You meant that shit. There was, you know what I mean, too much venom up in that statement, son. So we're seeing these different people and their different situations, which is interesting because your mind, we are not given a moment to rest here. Chris has got you thinking, right? He's got you thinking fast. You know what I mean? Like, you think that this was a short film, the pace, certain things are moving, right? And I don't mean necessarily that we're getting action, but we're just getting hit with these different sorts of emotions, these different takes. So you can't really settle on one thing. You are very much wondering, how is this going to play out? Right? Because the more people you meet, the more you kind of think, that person seems a little dodge, right? That person looks like they got secrets. That person's going to drop a bombshell and ruin this occasion. But what we get is, oh my God, we are getting given so many juicy hooks It's crazy, people. It's crazy. You do not know. You do not know what is coming next in this story, which is it's interesting, right? Because Chris had this to say, right, about why he made this film. He said, "This is a film made for our community, and I wasn't going to stop fighting until the community would get the opportunity to see it. We deserve to see ourselves laugh, be shady, run from monsters, and survive. Maybe." And there are definitely laughs, right? You definitely see shady people. There's monsters, and oh, there's maybe a quest for survival. You know what I mean? Which gets super interesting, right? Because like when you watch some of your favorite horror films, maybe, you know what I mean, those slasher films, those, things like The Purge and stuff like that, maybe. You see people do crazy things, you know what I mean? Go in certain directions, make silly choices. And you're thinking, yo, what are you doing? In this one, a lot of the choices, they're not necessarily the worst choices, but we just say shit happen. Right. And so you're questioning everything. It is done in a way where you don't really see what's coming. You know what I mean? You can't anticipate. You're not like caught up in just all these tropes, right? Because it's all based from a lot of the conversations we're hearing. It's based on these people's personalities, right? That's why you got to pay attention to the film. It's definitely a thinker, right? And when I don't think you ever realize. Now, what I will say, right? There was a point in the film where I thought, oh, maybe this is what's going down, but I wasn't right. Right? There was a moment because I thought it was going to go one way, and it did not go that way. Right? I think a little part of what I was thinking did come out, but I did not predict this ending at all, which I loved. Oh man, I loved that aspect of this film, that you were just surprised, you know, and you kind of bought into everything. You know what I mean? You bought into everything. It was crazy just seeing these relationships and the impact these relationships were having on these couples. You know, there was all the different sorts of relationships as well, right? You know, the domineering ones, right? The ones that seemed like they're full of love, but there's illicit shit going down, right? You know what I mean? Those ones that were built on lies. And then you've got those friendships, because, I think a big part of this film is think about your friendships, right? Think about what you're putting into those friendships and taking out of those friendships. Is that even? You know what I mean? Is that even? Right? Are you asking a load from your friends, but not giving anything back? You know? Expecting them to pick up the phone, but you're just like, I can't be bothered tonight. They'll call someone else. You know what I mean? That kind of shit. Then also, what's your commitment to your partner, right? What's that? Do you pay attention to the vows, the promises that you make? All of these things are themes in this film. And is really, really freaking good. You know, it reminded me of Bitchas, right? We looked at Bitchas at the end of 2022. It was written and directed by Bill Posley, remember? And we spoke to old Bill, who was a great gent. You know what I mean? So a really enjoyable, fun kind of horror film based on board games. And it was different, right? I think that was the big thing about that film. It was different. And so is Our Deadly Vows, right? It is a different film. It's not true. I obviously you can see inspirations there. As I said, like you know, it's kind of born out of a slasher type of film. But you know, Chris has given us this interesting spin on it all. The performances are fantastic, right? I was watching it and thinking, yo, Chance and Grace have great chemistry. You know, because as I said, we see them getting married, and then just this whole dynamic in the car at the very beginning really tells us a lot about their relationship. And the fact that, you know, she's busy, but then he's just like, yo, Grace Face. I think that's his nickname for it, Grace Face, which I mean, I don't know if I'd be happy with that. You know what I mean? But like they seem to ground each other. And you're just thinking, that felt real natural. You know what I mean? That really felt like this was a couple. And then you know what I mean? Then I look and I see, oh, they are a couple. So it you know, it makes perfect sense. It works. And I think, look, just because someone's a couple doesn't mean they're gonna act well together. But they killed it. Then everyone else, man, like just everyone just killed their performances, and you bought the dynamics of the relationships they were in. Every single one. I thought it was great. Really good camera work that also helped keep you on your toes and gave nothing away. People, right? Our Deadly Vows is is hitting cinemas on the 7th of July, right? And also it will be on all your favorite VODs from the 1st of August. So you have no excuse, right? Check your local cinema, see if it's there. If you can't get to your local cinema, you can watch it at home on the 1st of August. Right? Perfect. And I highly recommend you do, people. As I said, this was really fun, really interesting. You know, it makes you think. It makes you think. So if you enjoyed Bitch Ass. I was like, yo, what was that film I just mentioned? If you enjoyed Bitch Ass, you know what I mean? I really do think, I really think you're going to dig the hell out of Our Deadly Vows because, oh, I really did. I really did. When you think of all the twists and turns in Influencer, that Shudder film, like completely different films, but it's on that similar tone. So yeah, 7th of July in the theaters, 1st of August on VODs. People check out Our Deadly Vows. It is very well written, very well directed, cinematography, music, all of those things deliver, and we get superb performances. So, yes, Our Deadly Vows, people.